Okay, so I'm back to continue with this spread. I have given it more thought, and I have a pretty good idea of where I'm headed, but it's always important to me as I work on these things to let the piece guide me as it develops. So one thing about my young woman here, I didn't have her. I had missed a part to cut out. There's a little part here between her coat and the handle of the basket that I hadn't cut out before. So I cut that, and then I decided to cut away against the edge of the basket here, and then I ripped a little bit there for a kind of a transition that I liked better. Anyway, and I'm also really interested in this piece, trying to figure out if and how to incorporate it. Anyway, so I have a tentative text. It's about memento mori, which is not a bad thing. It's just a reminder that we all end up in the same place in death, and that it's important spiritually to prepare for that. So in any case, I've got that little bit going. So I don't know where I'm going overall completely. I have an idea, and sometimes I can only see one step ahead, and that's where I am this morning. Got to get my brushes here, and the step that I see, okay, so I'm going to have text going in this area. So it's a little too, I need to, what would you say? Take it back a little bit. And also I have some trees coming up here over the roof, and I am going to want to, oh yeah, it's not very good. I'm trying to get rid of the trees that are right there by the roof. But my paint is not very opaque. That's better. I'm gonna go up into the gray. You know, not totally get rid of it, but get rid of it a little bit. Because I want to put trees back in, but trees of my making rather than the ones that are in the image already. So my gesso's working out better for me. I think, what am I going to do? I'm going to just go like that, I think. Just carry that roof line up. Alrighty. In this piece, I'm really trying to not use a whole lot of different materials and supplies, because part of my hope for this one is that if you aren't already working in art journaling or mixed media, this could be an inspiration to get started. And I don't want to leave the impression that you have to get, a ton of materials to do it, because for one thing, it's just not the case. So I wish I had removed the dark edge on this clipping before I glued it down, because now I'm having to cover it up and it's a little bit difficult, and I'm not really sure I wanted paint to go that far over on this, but that's the way it's working out. So just fooling with it. Okay, so we still have, you can still see that this is text, but it's not so prominent as before. And I like the edge over here, so I want to do a little bit of that over on this side too. Oops, oh no. Okay. I'm just going to add some paint on the edge of my scraper here and do a little scraping. Maybe that's a little too much. So let's see what we can do. Okay. All right, now I'm going to dry it and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so adding those few little blotches of a slightly warmer color, that's just an example of letting the piece lead me. I thought that would work better, and so I went ahead with it. Okay, so she's going to be going about there. All right, now I'm getting close to when I'm going to glue her down. What I want to do now is just think about, or not think about, actually put those trees that I was talking about back in here. And I think I'll have some coming up like this. It's nice to have the branches crossing and not actually just mirroring each other in parallel form. I have some coming over here a little bit. Now I could have just gone right to the painting, but I didn't actually feel that confident about it, so. Although I'm not sure why not, because it wouldn't be that easy to erase this stuff anyway. Okay. Something like that. And another thing that tends to happen if you are just letting the painting lead you is you don't always have the things you find that you want to use right here with you. So I am going to have to take a minute and get a few things. Okay, so what I have here is a Stabilo Aquarellable Stabilo All pencil. This is brown, I believe. And these pencils, it's deceptive because they look meek and mild, but when you put water, they're what do you call it? They are activated by water, and they can get pretty dark. So let's try. We'll go over these lines. Now, rather than activating it with water, I think if I activate it with water and then go back later with water again, it will simply smudge it. So But if you go over it with the matte medium, when the matte medium dries, that's an acrylic product, so you won't be able to reactivate it. If you go over the pencil later with water, it's just gonna not move. And if I just have it on my finger, obviously. So if I move my finger in the direction of the line, it's gonna keep that line form pretty well. If I were just go, it'd smear, and you would lose the directionality, I think, of the lines. Okay, magic. We have trees, but I wish I put some more over there. What I'm going to do now, while the matte medium's still wet, so I'm taking a black pencil. What I used before was brown. Just very lightly adding more little branches, and they are activating when they touch the still wet medium. And the pencil's very sharp, so it's leaving a thin line. And I'm gonna get a pretty good actually it's a little dry there. So I'm gonna take a little bit of this stuff on my finger, rub it around. Go right into that. So that's another way of working with this pencil, instead of just drawing first and then coming back and smudging over the lines. You can get it damp with the medium, and I'm touching so lightly. So I like the use of both the black and the brown, and the combination of the two techniques for activating the pencil. I was going to say I'm ready to glue her down, but actually let's go ahead. I want to think some more about using this other. I really like that, but maybe it's better there. And I also liked, and I forgot to use it. I was going to put the clock up. It's not a clock. A clock would be better, actually. Put it down there. I like that. And let's see. Thinking I can extend this somehow. And where are those dark scraps I had? Here. That's nice. Or, no, not that. Do I like that? I don't know. It's sort of interesting that paper has a grain. So when I tore this way, it tore fairly evenly. When I try and tear that way, it just wants to go all over the place. Okie doke. I don't want to get rid of the gravestone. I want this to be a jagged edge. Okay, I think I like that. So we'll start off with this. And I'm not lifting it totally off because I don't want to lose where I had it. It looks a little crooked. There, I think that's better. Fuzzy, huh? Okay, now, she's gonna go there. Okay, and what about this? This is gonna go under. This is gonna go over, I think. Okay. So let's start with her. Kind of interesting because once you glue down gluing down the focal point seems like a big step. She's crooked. Being super fussy about where I want her because I want some of that light color to come from behind her. I mean over here. Okay. lost her boots. Let's see if I can lift her up. Pretty tricky up here. I really don't want to rip her. Okay, good. Okay, so boots. I wish that had been a wheel, because the wheel would be really significant in my in this piece. So take that back a little bit. So we've still got the 1, 2, 3, but they're beginning to come over into each other, and I think that's fine. Okay, so we're moving along, doing pretty well, and more thought time comes next. Something needs to be done down here. I'm not really sure what, and might want to do something up in here. Sometimes these little snippets, or these ends that get cut off, are kind of interesting. Anyway, all right. Oh, and I didn't use any of this maroon, but I can always, I kind of like that. We've got this piece also, but that doesn't go. We'll think about that, because another thing that could happen is I could come in with paint and do something here, or I could just do something here. Let me think about this a sec, because I think I also have over here, yeah, I had this piece that has that little bit in. That might be kind of nice. I don't know though. I don't know. Let's see. So this is just really, my intention with this video was to just show it as it goes, as it flows or doesn't flow, as the case may be. And how the piece and the scraps, the collection of items that you have collected, come into it all. Do I like that? I think I do, but I'm gonna leave it off for now, or maybe move it over, or even over even more, or over even more in the corner. No. Okay, so we're just gonna leave it. All right, so that's that for this time, and Next, well, I want to deal with these edges that are way too sharp. I want to see about adding some maroon, whether I do it through collage or paint. I do like that. And I want to see, how the text is going to work, and then what needs to be done after that. So we're getting there. You know, I think I sometimes tend to stop pretty earlier than I maybe need to. But just experimenting with some little things. Kind of like that. Okay, we're gonna leave it. Oh, what? Wait. I don't want to come back and say, oh, I wish I hadn't done that. So I'm getting close to going ahead and doing it and then coming back and saying, oh, I wish I hadn't done that. But we can always, we can't take it back off, but we can tone it down. I like that. Okay. I find myself wishing this had been more organized, but then I say, no, this is the way meant to be. I do want to leave part of her boot showing. And then this, it's going to be going over the edge, and then I'll have to come back and, oh, look at the other side. Ooh, is that even better? That's kind of interesting. I really like that shape. Okay, that's, Gosh, guys, I don't know what to do. All right. I'll use the maroon. And now it's not even, there's a little bit of it. Okay. That was an interesting thing that happened. Turning it over and finding that. And now I need something up in here. So, look what I'm gonna do. Crows, bats, crows, I guess, because it's daytime. Okay, that was fun. And it's a good idea if you're going to use your pencil like that to wipe the any of the medium back off the tip of the pencil, or it'll harden there and cause you problems. Okay, I'm pretty happy with this. I don't like this line here. But anyway, okay, enough fussing. Now, sometimes what I do, or I do this a lot, I'll get to this stage, and then when I'm watching TV at night, or even when I'm reading in bed or whatever, I'll take this with me and I'll set it up and look at it once in a while and get some ideas that way. Because, you know, when you're working on it and you have your face right in it, you kind of can't see that well what you're actually doing. So, okay, we'll be back to continue. I hope you're enjoying this. I am. That was so fun. Okay, bye.